Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin this Halloween edition of The Wrestling News with last night's Monday Night Raw broadcast live on USA Network from the Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. In the main event, Sami Zayn was disqualified in his match against Damian Priest due to outside interference from Jey Uso, who superkicked Priest. Zayn and Uso were attacked by the Judgment Day until Cody Rhodes made the save to end the show. Zayn had confronted Judgment Day in the opening segment of the show, with Ricochet coming to his aid when Judgment Day was poised to attack. Following the segment, Dominic Mysterio pinned Ricochet in a match thanks to interference from Rhea Ripley. World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins took on J.D. McDonough in a non-title match. McDonough jumped Rollins during his pre-match promo, but Rollins still managed to pull off the win.
Now Rollins hits the pedigree! Well, it took about 5 attempts. Stop! Cover by Rollins as he stares right at Mr. Money in the Bank.
Here is your winner, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins!
Your move, Mr. Money in the Bank.
Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa reunited to form their DIY tag team for the first time in more than 3.5 years, defeating Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci of Imperium.
This is vintage DIY! Meet in the middle! Cover by Gargano! Win for DIY!
Here are your winners, DIY!
Also on the show, the Creed brothers made their official main roster debut, defeating Alpha Academy. Imperium also appeared on Miz TV with Vinci, Kaiser, and Intercontinental Champion Gunther eventually destroying the talk show set and laying out The Miz. In other results, Xia Li beat Candice LeRae via referee stoppage, and Chelsea Green defeated Natalya in a trick-or-street fight. In ratings news, the audience for SmackDown last Friday was significantly down, with the show airing on FS1 instead of its usual Fox spot due to Game 1 of the World Series. The show brought in a viewership of 1.145 million according to WrestleNomics, as compared to the previous week's 2.254 million. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was 0.35, down from 0.59 the week before. The viewership for AEW Rampage dropped as well, with 319,000 tuning in to last Friday's episode on TNT according to WrestleNomics. That's down from the previous week's 342,000. In the key demographic, the rating was a 0.09, down from the previous week's 0.11. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.